Hi, my name is n-hartsock. I'm currently the ELL coordinator for two different elementary schools, Aspen Elementary and Uinta Meadows Elementary, both in Uinta County in Evanston, Wyoming. As an ESL coordinator, what I do is try to help students make the adjustment coming from a Spanish-speaking home or another home that speaks another language and transition into an English-speaking school. And our end goal is to make sure that language is no longer a barrier in their learning. Something that I'm passionate about when it comes to these students is SIOP, or Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol. This is an approach to teaching English language learners which integrates language and content instruction more effectively, making input comprehensible. Therefore, students are able to understand what is being taught, said, or what they're reading. But specifically, the thing that is most important to me in SIOP is interaction in the classroom, or giving students an ample opportunity to speak in meaningful conversation. Today's classrooms, as teachers operate, the teaching model has not changed much. The teacher typically stands in front of the classroom, tells the students to be quiet, settle down, calm down, and pay attention. They do this so that they can teach. They have so much instruction and so much information that needs to be conveyed to the students that they want the students to absorb this like a sponge. And we found that that's not the best practice, but it is the most common practice. What these teachers are doing is causing the students to sit there and listen without much interaction. So today's society and in today's schools, we have very limited classroom interaction. In a study of programs for ELLs, it was found that the classes were characterized by excessive teacher talk. When students were given an opportunity to respond, it usually involved only simple information recall statements, such as yes or no questions or one or two worded answers. This restricted students' chances to produce language and develop complex language and thinking skills. In a typical classroom setting, teachers can talk up to 80% of the time. Now let's look at the numbers really quick. So I did a recent survey at an elementary school, and it showed that mainstream classroom teachers spend approximately 5 hours a day with students in the classroom during direct and indirect content instruction. If a teacher talks up to 80% of the time, and in a classroom of about 20 students, doing the math, each student spends approximately 3 minutes a day engaged in meaningful conversation with the teacher. Now that's not very much. Now we're all guilty of this as educators because we want to convey that language or convey that information and try to push it onto them. I have a student, we'll call him Greg. Greg in the past, he struggled in the classroom in one domain. So he is one of my ELL students, and every year he passes the writing portion, the listening portion, and the reading portion. However, he struggles every year with the speaking portion. He struggles with these because he's a shy student. He would not do well because he would only give simple one or two word answers to the questions. They were correct answers, but it was not enough language for him. So we set a goal for him at the beginning of the year to not be shy. At the beginning of the year, it was difficult because he still wanted to produce those one or two word answers. We tried to find things that were meaningful to him and that he could talk about. Eventually, by the end of the school year last year, he was thriving, doing well. In fact, he was speaking so much that while I was trying to teach, he kept talking. And I wanted to tell him several times to be quiet, settle down, to listen up. However, it was his goal to speak more, and subsequently I had to let him speak because it was his goal and he was accomplishing it. When we assess our students on things like this, it's hard for us not to assess them on personality. Rather, we need to test them on what they know. Therefore, we need to give them several opportunities for these assessments, whether they're formative, informative, cumulative, and different formats, in order to really assess what they know when it comes to speaking in their language, rather than assessing them based on their personality and giving them a grade for that.